Okay, so let me share. Unfortunately, Blessing, who is the organizer of this whole event, she's having a few connection problems, and she was also running over. She was involved in another event with her church this afternoon, so she's a very busy woman and very dedicated to what she does. But she did share a quick introductory video with me, and so I'll share that with you now.
Hello, everyone. I welcome you all to this very special Educators and Parents Hangout Conference 2025. Yes, you are all welcome to the EduP Hangout Conference. And I'm Blessing Apom. I'm the founder of EduP Hangouts. For those of you who are just joining today and wondering what is EduP, EduP simply stands for Educators and Parents. So EduP Hangouts is a platform created to bridge the gap between the home and school. So we build the connection between teachers and parents. So it's a group that has been formed to bring together teachers, parents, school leaders, school owners from all across the globe. Indeed, we have on our platform teachers, parents from all across Nigeria, West Africa, the whole of Africa, and even outside the continent of Africa. And it's been a very, very rewarding experience to, build this community of people who are interested in raising a total child. And we welcome you all to EduP Hangout Conference 2025. This is a third annual conference. The first one was in 2023. And I'm so delighted to have this conference again with you all in 2025. And I'm so expectant to listen to our delectable speakers that we have today. Yes, we have our keynote speaker, and we have four other speakers who are very, very vast in their field as educators and even as parents. We have a lawyer amongst our speakers for today who has been with us from the inception of EduP Hangouts. And I'm so expectant and I'm ready to learn a lot from our speakers today. So I'm going to leave you right now, but I'm not leaving you alone. I'm handing over to Teresa Bestwick, who is going to be our moderator. Yes, Teresa Bestwick has also been with us on the very start of the first EduP Hangout conference, and she's been with us for this long, and I'm so happy to have her with us today. She's from the UK and she's resident in Spain. So I'll be handing over to Teresa Bestwick to moderate this conference and lead us on. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining, and I hope you have a rewarding experience at the conference. Thank you. I'll talk to you later.
Fantastic. So it was wonderful to hear from our founder there, Blessing Epham. And as she said, it's very much a community. So do make use of the chat during today's session. Use it to let us know where you are, who you are, if you're a parent, if you're an educator, if you're a parent, how old are your children? If you're an educator, who do you work with? It's very much about building not only the home school connection, but also building connections between people, between families, between educators as well. Okay, so now we're going to start with our fantastic sessions. And Deborah has sent through a wonderful biographical video for me to share with you. So I'm going to share that. Okay.
Deborah Adejumoke Adejobi is a dynamic communicator, educator, and marketing strategist with 3 decades of professional experience spanning investment banking, brand communications, and academia. With a rich career foundation built in the City of London, she has transitioned her corporate savvy into the education and communication space, empowering professionals and organizations to find their voice, define their message, and deliver it with confidence. Currently serving as Principal Assistant Registrar and Head of Marketing and the Alumni Relations Office at Leeds City University, Deborah has led strategic marketing campaigns that have increased student enrollment, amplified the university's digital footprint, positioned the institution in prestigious international rankings, and boosted alumni engagement. She co-founded Two Designs and Social Solutions, a creative agency focused on marketing and social media growth for purpose-driven brands. As the director of the Speech and Language Academy, Nigeria, she has trained children and adults in speech writing, public speaking, phonics-based reading, elocution, and corporate communication, transforming anxiety into eloquence for speakers across classrooms, boardrooms, and international stages. She also hosts corporate and academic events with professional poise and polish, ensuring each program runs smoothly and without delays, thanks to meticulous planning, sound judgment, and excellent organizational skills, delivering every session with clarity, grace, and impact. Deborah holds 2 undergraduate degrees, a 2-1 in Business Economics from the University of East London, and a first-class degree in English and Literary Studies. She holds a postgraduate diploma in Teachers Education from the University of Ibadan and a master's in English. She is currently engaged in advanced linguistic research and lectures in LCU's Department of Languages and Literature. Deborah has been teaching and training speakers since 2007, working both with schools and corporate organizations. She blends academic rigor with real-world insights to deliver practical, transformative, results-driven communication training. Her student trainees have consistently excelled in debate competitions and public speaking contests, while her corporate clients have reported significant improvements in clarity, confidence, and overall organizational communication. Her speaking sessions are known for being energetic, relatable, and solution-focused, helping participants overcome stage fright, speak boldly, and own their unique voice, whether in meetings, pitches, interviews, or public arenas. Multilingual in English, French, and Yoruba, Deborah enjoys swimming and dancing and spending time with her family. She is married with 3 daughters. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Deborah Adejumoke Adejobi.
Fantastic. So that was a fantastic introduction. I'm very excited to hear what Deborah has to say. So, Deborah, over to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I'll start by telling you that I have a cough, and so I have a cough sweet in my mouth. I hope that doesn't affect my speech, but if I realize that I can't control it well enough, I'll have to get rid of it. But it's just helping me calm my throat down a little bit. Thank you so much for that warm welcome. I have my slides, my presentation slides, and as I am co-host, I would like to share. So let me just maneuver my way through that. Do you need to give me rights to do that?
I think you should be able to share already as co-host.
Okay. So more share screen. Okay. No, that's not what I want. Sorry, I'm just trying to maneuver my way to where I'm supposed to share the screen now.
No problem. We've got some more people joining us. So if anyone has joined us since the opening,
I can't seem to find
just a reminder that we're going to be recording this. So it will be shared to YouTube afterwards in case you lose any of your signal at any point.
So yeah, share that.
Fantastic.
And then I go to from current slide, no, from the beginning. Okay, excellent. I hope my slide is visible now.
It says it's sharing, but we can't. Oh, now there we go. Yep, we've got them now.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, great. So after that introduction, I suppose everybody knows a little bit about me now. I'm a trainer. I'm a teacher, a certified teacher, and I do enjoy having opportunities to speak to parents and teachers at forum like this. So I'll be talking to you today on empowering learners and empowering futures. And we're looking at how parents and teachers can partner in developing excellent children, excellent students, excellent leaders of tomorrow. Okay, so I'd like to say a special thank you to Blessing for inviting me. Blessing actually is someone who herself values continuous professional development. She was recently part of our the certificate in early childhood education at Leeds City University, and she was an excellent student. We really enjoyed having her on the program. And so when this invitation came, I was actually quite chuffed by it, and I'm very impressed that she did invite me to this, that she has this going on. As a cohort, all of us as members of that class actually supported and joined her initiatives. You know, we followed her pages and all of that when she told us about this program. So I'm really, really happy to be here, and I hope I'll be able to share a few insights that'll be beneficial to both parents, teachers, and schools as a whole. At this moment, I heard one of the speakers saying earlier that some of their students have actually resumed in their school in Abuja. Many schools are resuming tomorrow, Monday, and then over the next couple of weeks as well, schools will start to resume and the students will start to come into school. And so everything is new at this moment. Everything is new. We're at the threshold of a new academic session. The new students will be going into new classes. They have new uniforms, they have new books, they have new bags. Everything is new. All of that excitement. Even the teachers are going to be new because the students will meet new teachers and the teachers will also meet new students as well. They'll make new friends and everyone will now have an opportunity to make a good first impression. So what do we do with that first impression? How do we make that first impression last the longest? How do we make it a good first impression? It's important for us to, excuse me, it's important for us to introduce the idea of excellence to the children right from day one. We need to set the tone for a culture of high standards now when the children get into school, when they get into the new classes, so that that culture will last them for a lifetime. Children, the way the children experience their classes and their parents at this point would actually shape the way they see their learning, discipline, and success in the years to come. I've actually got a statement at the end there that says that the seeds that we plant on day one will determine what we harvest at the end of the year or at the end of the period. So we need to work hard at making sure that we plant the right seeds of excellence, seeds of hard work, seeds of discipline in our children, so that by the time we get to the end of the school year, we'll be reaping bountiful blessings from them. You know, and this is really, really important because we live in a world that is changing so rapidly. There are changes in climate going on, there are changes in culture, changes in technology, the way we think and the way we talk, the way we live and the way we learn. Everything is changing and it's changing so rapidly. And with all of these changes come a lot of distractions. There are lots of distractions that we have to face every single day. And even the children, as these distractions are coming up, they're also coming up with a lot of challenges for the children and for us as adults and parents who are looking after them. So the children are facing challenges associated with growing up in today's world. And as adults, we're dealing with multifaceted issues of our own, including how to raise children who are digital natives when we ourselves are digital immigrants, you know? So all of those challenges pose a problem for us and for the children that we're trying to raise as well. And then as parents and teachers, we're constantly competing with gadgets and screens and endless noise that surround these children and that demand their attention. And so it is really difficult to raise excellent children in this environment. It's difficult, but it's not impossible. And so that's why we need to learn what it is to do to be able to achieve this laudable goal of raising excellent children despite all of these challenges. And the important thing that we need to bear in mind is that it is not a one-man show or it is not a one entity show. Parents have to play their part. Teachers also have to play their part. And then we have to work together to ensure that this assignment, this shared assignment, is carried out perfectly so that the children benefit and we as parents also reap a bountiful blessing at the end of the day. So, you know, we have to work hand in hand. I mentioned this before, but it's really, really important that we do work hand in hand as parents and teachers to raise excellence so that excellence is not just possible, it becomes inevitable when everybody's working towards the same goal. And this connects beautifully with the sub theme of the topic that I'm working with, which is that parents and teachers are partners in excellence. We cannot remove one element or the other. Everybody has got to be in there together, doing the best that they can for the children. Now, when we're talking about excellence, what do we really mean? Are we only talking about excellent grades, scoring A's and A stars in the exams? Well, no, that's not what we're talking. That's not the only thing that excellence connotes. We're looking at excellence in morals and values, excellence in discipline and in resilience, excellence in knowledge and in creativity, in developing of ideas, even emotional intelligence is a form of excellence that we want our children to be able to strive to and to be able to achieve. So when we're talking about raising excellent children, we're talking about unlocking the potentials that lie within the children. We're talking about preparing them to pass tests and exams. Yes, that's very important. But not just that. We need to also empower them to successfully face life's bigger tests. There'll be many tests of responsibility, tests of their resilience, tests of making the right decisions. All of these things will still face these children in future. And so when we're talking about raising excellent children, we're talking about raising well-balanced, well-rounded, loving, caring, responsible young people, people that would be able to stand on their own 2 feet when they grow up and get into the world of work or into adulthood. And so I want to take a few moments to look at what role or what part would the teachers have to play when we're talking about raising excellent children or bringing up these children in the way that they'll be excellent adults when they grow up. Well, the first thing that teachers need to realize is that they have a very, very big responsibility. Teachers have a very, very big responsibility because they are shaping destinies. And that's just a simple truth. The children spend so much time with the teachers in school that the teachers have this power to shape the destinies, to control how the children think, to control how they behave, to control the things that they learn and they do. And so teachers have a lot of responsibilities in their hands. A child who feels safe, who feels seen, who feels heard in your classroom, who feels supported in your classroom, is a child that will dare to dream, is a child that will be a risk taker. That sort of child will be a go-getter. They will not be hampered or hindered by shyness or fear or uncertainty. They'll be motivated to learn. They would want to do more because they know that you as a teacher have given them a platform to stand on. You have given them the opportunity to be able to, do research and take risks, make mistakes and learn from those mistakes. So you as a teacher, you have a very, very important role to play. How do you empower excellence in these children? Well, like I said at the start, you need to make a very good first impression. When the children come into your classroom at the start of the session, or at the start of the term, they need to feel welcome. Everybody needs to feel like they have a right to be there. They belong there, regardless of gender, regardless of skin color, regardless of race or background. Everybody has to feel welcome in your class. That is your duty as a teacher, to make all of the children in your classroom feel welcome. The way that you arrange your classroom, the way that you plan and present your lessons, even your mindset is very, very important. If a teacher has a toxic mindset, or if a teacher has a doubting mindset, you're not even sure of yourself, you would definitely communicate that to the children. And what happens is the children will notice this and they will feed off the atmosphere that you create as a teacher. And so it is very, very important for you as a teacher to have a very strong, positive mindset, because you will communicate this to the children and then the children will learn from you. So in the first few days of the term and of the term, you need to work hard at creating a welcoming, structured, inviting, inspiring, and positive environment, so that when the children come in, they want to be there. They love being there. They enjoy being there. They want to be a part of your classroom because of the way that you've set up the classroom and the way that you welcome them into the classroom. Another thing that is very important for you to do as a teacher is you need to conduct baseline assessment tests very, very early on. I'm not asking you to make the children sit down and write a test, when they come into your classroom. No, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about observing the children, watching them, talking to them, okay? Listening to them, checking out to find what their entry behavior is. So because when they come into your classroom, they're all coming from different backgrounds, right? They're coming from different classes, different experiences, different family backgrounds. And so you as a teacher, you need to find out what their entry behavior is. Within the first few weeks, it's very important for you to take time to discover what the learning styles of the children in your classroom are and what their learning abilities are. Where do they stand? What do they know as they come into your classroom? And then you as a teacher need to deliver your instruction in a way that the children learn best. Remember, we said that the children are different. Every learner in your classroom is different. So you need to find a way then to appeal to all of those different learning styles and all of those different learning abilities within your classroom. This is the superpower that teachers have. You just need to harness that superpower and get to use it effectively for the benefit of the children in your classroom. Now, you need to be able to meet these children at the zone of proximal development. Now, what that means is there's a point that some things that the children know how to do, okay, that they can do independently on their own without any help. And then there's another stage where they don't know how to do it, but they can do it with a little bit of help, with a little bit of support, with a little bit of assistance from the teacher. And so that zone between what they can do independently and what they can do with help is the zone of proximal development. And that is where real learning happens. Okay? So you need to meet the children at their zone of proximal development so that you as a teacher can successfully reach out to them, can successfully teach them, can successfully make a difference in their lives. It is important that you do this very, very early on when the children come into your classroom. Another thing that you need to do as teachers is you need to check out your pedagogical strategies. Don't just use the same teaching methods that you have been using over the years. You need to change and enhance and improve your pedagogical strategies. Don't just teach. Don't stand in front of the class and just dictate information to the children. You need to facilitate learning. You need to make learning happen. So you need to look into things like project-based learning strategies or task-based learning strategies that will help the children learn by doing. So you're not just feeding them information, but you're helping them to learn by doing. And these strategies make learning active, relevant, durable, and usable. In fact, I've got a little graphic here that I made for that. So your teaching style, your pedagogical strategies have got to make learning active. The children have got to learn by doing. You have to engage them, okay, regardless of their age, whether they're in primary school, secondary school, or even in tertiary institutions. Excuse me. You need to let the children learn by doing. And then the learning, what they're learning, okay? So when you have children in a Naira and Kobo economy like Nigeria, you're not teaching them dollars and cents because it's just not relatable to them. You need to make sure that you use what is relatable. Even the pictures that you use in class has to be relatable. It has to look like them so that it will really touch them. It will really be relevant, resonate with them. Then your teacher.
I think, unfortunately, we might have lost Elizabeth. Sorry, Deborah. Her connection seemed to go a little bit.
I
She's
got
back.
disconnected there for a minute. I don't know how much, I don't know how long that was.
It was just momentary that we
I
suddenly
didn't
lost you. It was a bit fuzzy
any
before.
clues that had been disconnected. Sorry?
It,
Um,
it's a little fuzzy, but I think if I turn my camera off as well, it
is it
might
better
help.
now? Can you hear me clearly now?
Yep, perfect.
Should I turn my camera off? Maybe that would help. Maybe that would make things. So let me turn my camera off and then
Yeah.
I would continue to share my screen and then we'll see how that goes. I hope it's better. Right. So I was talking about making learning permanent. So the learning that you pass across to that you put your children through must be active, it must be relevant, it must be durable, and of course it must be usable. It must be something that is applicable to them. They should be able to, it should be relevant to them. They should be able to understand what you're saying because they're in that environment. The examples that you're using are relevant. The pictures that you're using are relevant to them, and then they're able to make the best use of that information. So please revise your learnings, your teaching strategies in such a way that it becomes relevant to the children that you're working with. Okay, I don't have control over my slides anymore. All right, so I talked about pedagogical strategies, and now I'm going to the fourth one, which is professional development. As a teacher, you need to continue to learn. You need to continue to train yourself. You need to continue to enhance your knowledge. A teacher that stops learning stops inspiring. Okay, so it is important for you as a teacher to keep learning, keep improving, keep growing. You need to invest in continuous professional development, because it is only when you do this that you have something to share with your children. So you need to take every opportunity that you can to upgrade your skills, because every new thing that you learn is something new that you have to share with the children in your care. Okay, so you need to take the opportunity to upgrade your skills and become better than you were previously, so that the children can always learn something new from you. All right. Now, I'm sure that a lot of us would be aware of the new government policy about certification. Teachers are now required to be registered by the Teachers Registration Council of Nigeria. So if you're a teacher and you don't have that certification, then you will run foul of the law very, very quickly. And schools rather, who employ teachers who are uncertified will also run foul of the law. Can you please confirm that you can hear me? Can somebody just say something? Or Teresa,
Yep,
can
we
you
can
hear
hear
me?
you fine. Yeah, all good.
Beautiful. Okay, thank you. So certification is non-negotiable. As a teacher, you need to work at getting certified. Schools who employ teachers who are not TRCN certified will lose their accreditation for WAEC, NECO, and NAPTEP examinations, right? So it is important for you, if you're a school owner, to ensure that all of your teachers are TRCN certified. You as a teacher, this is a wake-up call for you as well. You need to invest in continuous professional development. It is not optional. Now the government has put a law in place that ensures that you must have that certification. So it's important that you get this done. I'll just quickly chip this in because this is very important for me. The university where I work, Leeds City University, Ibadan, is committed to supporting teachers on this journey to continuous professional development. There's several options that we have available that can help teachers and school owners to be able to comply with this new government policy. So uncertified teachers can register with the university for their TRCN. They can sit the examinations. Qualified but uncertified can register with us and sit the examinations with us and get their certification through the university. They can also enroll in a one-year postgraduate diploma in education. There are different fields: social studies, economics, computer science, arts, languages, all of that are covered under the postgraduate diploma in education. You can also get that. It takes 1 year to get that done. You can join our flexible in-service sandwich program. The program is actually sandwiched between the school year. So when the children are on holiday, during the summer holidays, you will come into the university and have your teaching sessions. And then when the children go off on Christmas holiday at the end of the year, you come in and have your examinations, and that makes one academic year. And you do that 3 or 4 times. By the end of 4 years, you would have your degree certificate, okay? And then also, if you're already you already hold a degree, but your degree is not in education, you can actually run a conversion program at the university, and that would help you to convert your existing degree into an education degree. That just takes 2 years if you already have a degree, okay? So excellence is sustained only when we grow, when we adapt, and when we can only remain professionally relevant if we equip ourselves to inspire the next generation. So don't take this lightly at all. It is important that you as teachers get this certification done. Okay? And one more thing, the role of teachers is also the role of the school, because the teachers are part of the school. Teachers operate within a school. So all of these roles, all of these things that I've just talked about that the teachers have to do are also the responsibility or the duty of the school. So school owners and administrators need to invest in ensuring a positive environment where excellence happens. They need to ensure that they invest in their teachers. They need to train their teachers and provide adequate remuneration for the teachers so that they want to stay with you. When the environment is positive and the remuneration is adequate, you will find that your staff turnover will be greatly reduced. All right. Don't shy away from investing in your teachers because you think when you train them, they will leave you and go someplace else. You need to train the teachers so that you are giving your children the best. The children in your school are getting the best out of you. One way to protect yourself from teachers being trained and leaving you could be to enter into a training bond agreement with the teachers or a retention agreement, which states something like, oh, we will train you, we will pay for the training, and you will stay with us for a stipulated number of years. And any teacher who needs to leave before those years are over will then have to refund the school the cost of the training. So that way, it's a win-win situation. The school has qualified, trained teachers teaching the children, and the teachers also have the opportunity to be trained and to improve their qualifications as well. Now, we can't talk about anything in today's world without talking about digital skills. They are very, very essential. It's essential for our children to be empowered to know how to use digital skills. They open up the doors to creativity and innovation, and we must take advantage of this. Any school must have digital tools available to the children. The teachers must also be able to use these digital tools, and they must be able to infuse technology into their teaching so that the teaching becomes more relevant to the children that are being taught. All right, so we've looked at what the teachers need to do and what the school needs to do. Now we want to take a few minutes to look at what parents need to do. Remember that the parents are the first teachers of the child. The child is socialized in the family environment. Whatever the child is going to come up with, and whatever the child is going to become, usually starts being molded and being built at home. So parents need to instill family values in their children. Nobody can do that for you. You need to start that at home as the parent. You need to teach the children the values that you stand for as a family. Then you need to avoid permissive parenting. Many parents today say something like, oh, I don't want my children to suffer the way that I did. I don't want my children to go through the problems that I went through as growing up. And so they pamper their children and they permit their children, allow them to do whatever it is the children want to do. Now, history has shown that permissive parenting leads to regrets, and we don't want regrets. So we need to make sure that we balance the love that we have for our children with the discipline that we show them as well, so that the children can learn that there are things that are right to do and things that are improper for them to do. Parents need to give their children time and attention, give them a listening ear, give them your guidance, give them your direction. Don't just shower them with money and gifts and think that they'll be fine. You need to allow them to have time to talk to you as a parent, okay? Then you need to give your children freedom, but freedom within reasonable boundaries. Because if you leave your children with too much freedom, that would also lead to regrets, and we don't want that. So we need to give the children freedom, but within reasonable boundaries. It's also very, very important to give our children age-appropriate responsibilities. Let them try, let them fail, and then let them learn. It's a process that they just have to go through. If they never try, they will never fail, and then they will never learn. All right, so allow them to try and fail and be there as a parent, ready to catch them if they fall. Don't prevent every failure and every fall. Rather, let that happen and then be there to catch them, to help them to learn how to pick themselves up and also to be able to move on when mistakes or setbacks happen in life. Okay, so don't be a helicopter parent that is there to just pick up every time something, before something goes wrong, you're there to stop it from going wrong. You need to make sure that you give your children the opportunity to explore, to learn. If they make mistakes, they will learn from those mistakes and then be able to move on from them. All right. So you need to teach your children self-leadership. Excuse me. Children need to learn how to handle themselves. So how to wake up early in the morning, how to get ready for school, how to care for their property, their possessions, their school bag and their lunch bags and their bottles and their books, all of this. They need to learn how to care for these things. They need to learn to clean up after themselves. If you're cleaning up after them every single step of the way, they'll never learn to do it themselves. Children need to learn to show respect for themselves and for other people as well. You need to teach them that. That starts from the home. You need to teach your children to show kindness to other people. You teach them that by being kind to them and to other people yourself. You need to teach your children to say greeting. I mean, what does it hurt you to say greeting to everybody that you meet? Children need to learn to do that. And when they learn to do that, you'll find that they're happier, they're kinder, they're enjoying themselves, and people love them and relate to them better than those who choose not to do this. And so parents and teachers need to work together. Teachers are doing the academic and the cognitive development, and parents need to work on the development of the values and the morals that the children have. And then they'll bring these together and bridge it, so that the children are better raised by the school and the home. And the bridge between the school and the home is communication. There is no way that the children will be in school all day from 8 to maybe 4 p.m. with the teachers, with the school, and then they come home and spend a few hours with their parents and then go to bed. They spend more time in school. And so the teachers need to communicate to the parents, to let the parents know what the children have been doing all day, what they've done well, where they had challenges, and then the parents can pick up the slack at home as well. There needs to be open communication between the school and the home. And we need to listen to each other, and we need to work together. Parents need to respect the teachers, and teachers need to respect the parents as well. So there needs to be mutual respect between parents and teachers. You don't want to be talking bad about your parents in front of the children. I don't want to be rude to the teachers in front of the children. So we need to be careful how we react, how we behave in front of the children, so that they would also have that mutual respect for their teachers and their parents as well. The message that we're trying to get across to the children, what we're trying to let them understand, is that we're there for them. They're not alone. We love them. We believe in them. And so we need to support them by collaborating and by working together as a team, both parents and children and teachers. Now, the school has got to put in a channel of communication that works. So it could be a communication book, it could be a call line, it could be a help desk, anything, a way to communicate to the parents, and where parents can also reach out to get information. When the school has a school WhatsApp platform, complaining on that WhatsApp platform, or calling out the school at that WhatsApp platform, or going on social media to complain about the school is not the way to go. It's not going to achieve anything. You will not get the solution to your problems online. The solutions to the problems are in the school, and so you need to work out at talking to the school and getting the problem sorted in school. So schools need to schedule regular parents-teachers meetings so that parents can come and talk and find out what is going on in the school, and parents need to make the effort to attend. It is very important that when the school sets up these meetings, parents actually make the time to attend those meetings. But remember, please remember, I'm going to stress this. Parent-teachers meetings are not the opportunity, or are not the forum to air your grievances. That is not the forum for you to call out the school, to complain about the school bus, or to complain about the lunch service, or to complain about whatever it is you have been bottling up the whole term. When issues arise, it is better to go to the school or call the designated contact person and complain while the issue is fresh. Don't leave it festering in your mind for a long time and increasing the annoyance and the anger and the hurt, and then coming to the parents teachers meeting to explode. That is not going to help anybody. So whenever you have issues with the school, go to the school or call in as quickly as possible so as to get these issues resolved. All right, we talked about teachers learning digital skills. Parents also need to work with digital skills. We live in a digital world. Like I said earlier, though, most of the parents today are digital immigrants, while the children are digital natives. And that's why you buy a new device and give it to a child, and the child can figure it out. While you are there looking for the button to press, the children have, oh yeah, you have to press here, you have to go there. This is because it just comes naturally to them, okay? So they probably know more about technology than you do as a parent. So what do you need to do then? You need to have an open conversation with your children. You need to let them know what the limitations or the boundaries are. You need to set the boundaries, and then you need to enforce those boundaries. You need to let them know, for example, that if they want to use their digital devices, there must be in an open space, maybe on the dining table or in the reading corner if you have one at home, or in a space where they're not just alone by themselves with a digital device doing all manner of things. They need to know that they can't be just by themselves using the devices to do whatever it is they feel like doing. And please don't use devices as babysitters. They're terrible babysitters. They would give these children a high, like a dopamine rush, a temporary high. And the moment you take the devices away, it's like you're withdrawing a drug from somebody who is drug dependent. And it is just a terrible thing. So please don't get used to babysitting your children or your young ones with digital devices. Let them play instead. Give them toys and other things that they can play with instead. I'm not saying take the devices away completely, but when they're using devices, you can actually use the device with them and then set a time limit, 1 hour, 30 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever fits into your schedule in your family. Set a time limit and stick to that time limit so that they get the opportunity to play with the devices, but then they're not dependent on the devices. So excellence is a journey. It is something that we have to continue to do. We as parents, we have to continue to form and model the right habits. Parents, teachers also need to model the right habits for the children to see and the right attitudes that they want the children to develop. They have to maintain a positive mindset because when your mindset is positive, then you are passing on that positive mindset to the children in your care. You need to keep advancing on your growth trajectory. Okay, don't say, "Oh yeah, I have, I have a BSc now, or I have a BEd now, I'm fine, or I have a master's now, I'm okay." Keep growing, keep improving, keep advancing in your knowledge. Take courses, join MOOCs, join webinars like this. I really commend the parents that are here and the teachers that are here on this program because you are learning and there's so much more to learn from this program today. So join opportunities like this to learn and to better yourself, to see what's new out there. Continue to ask, how can I as an individual be better? How can I as a teacher be better? How can I as a parent be better? How can we as a school do better for the children in our care? When you continue to ask these questions and continue to look at what you have done and how you can do it better the next time, then you realize that you are raising the standard of excellence within yourself and within your institution. And the children that have the privilege of coming across you will also be raised to be excellent children as well. So finally, I have this little checklist at the end here for all of the parties in this conversation. So teachers, remember that you need to inspire, you need to assess the children in your care very, very early so that you can meet them at their zone of proximal development. You need to innovate, you need to improve, you need to continue to learn because this will be beneficial to the children in your care. For you parents, you need to balance love and discipline. You need to give your children the opportunity, to make mistakes and then correct the mistakes. Let them know that it is okay to fail because you can actually always retrace your steps. Catch them. Don't prevent them from falling. Catch them when they fall, not prevent them from actually falling. Because in the process of making the mistake, they are also learning, and it is important for them to learn. Both teachers and parents need to communicate. You need to encourage curiosity in the children, and you need to encourage a balanced use of technology. When we work together in this way, then we'll be empowering the learners in our care to be confident future leaders. And I think it is important for us to continue to do this because that is the responsibility that we have as teachers and as parents. We have a responsibility to these children, and we must do the best that we can to ensure that we give the children the very, very best that we can give to them. So I thank you very much for listening to me, and I really I'm grateful for the opportunity to talk to you this evening. Thank you all so very much. I don't know if we're having a question and answer session at some point, but that's me. That's my presentation done. Thank you so much.
Fantastic. That was such an informative session as well,
Thank
Deborah.
you.
So many good talking points. We haven't had any questions come in, and I think that we'll move on now to chat to Elizabeth because I know that she has another commitment that she needs to get to. But if anybody has any questions, drop them in the chat, and then perhaps we'll have time to come back to them at the end with Deborah. Thank you very much, Deborah, for giving us your time. And now I'd like to introduce Elizabeth Ogwewele. She is an academic lead at a Rolex Plus school in Lagos. So Elizabeth, are you there? I did see you before. I hope we haven't lost Elizabeth.
Yeah. Yes, I'm here.
Fantastic. Excellent. Lovely to have you with us, Elizabeth.
Thank you, Felicia.
So, I mean, first of all, as a teacher, how do you think you can balance structured teaching with opportunities for students to explore their individual passions?
Okay, so as a teacher, well, I think that it's very important to, create a balance. Okay, it's very, very important to create a balance. You have to integrate choice, into assignments. You can even use differentiated instruction. Okay, you can use differentiated instruction while teaching the children to meet their learning needs. Okay, so that each child is focused. You focus on each child's strength and ability because every learner is different. Okay, even connect the lessons to the real life situation, everyday learning. Okay, so for example, you're teaching mathematics addition. You can let them understand how addition can be used for in their everyday life. Okay, probably maybe they went for, let me use this simple instance. And talking to children, I teach young learners, so I talking, giving my examples relating to young learners. Let's say I teach addition, and I try to teach a child, okay, now you know how to put count things together. So let's say mommy has given you 5 sweets, and then your friend later gave you 3 more. So now how many sweets do you have? So, that's like relating that topic or that learning to an everyday experience that could happen to that child. Okay. So even when talking to the children, you can, use open-ended tasks or questions. Let them be free to express themselves. Okay. When you talk, for example, you can say, what's not what did you enjoy about your holiday, for example? Instead of just asking, did you enjoy your holiday, to get a yes or a no answer? Okay. When you say, what did you enjoy about your holiday? Now they start telling you the most interesting thing. Maybe I went visiting my grandma, and they start telling all the events and things that happened during that period. Okay. So, build a supportive environment for the children. Okay. Where the children can be free to ask questions, interact, they can be free to communicate with you as a teacher, or if you're a parent, make them feel free. Some environments are so rigid and, not so flexible that children can't even express themselves, even when they have problems, pains, even emotional, challenges, because maybe the teacher or the parents have not created that kind of friendly environment. The child is free to express more herself. You might not really get to know what the challenge of the child is. So as a teacher, you create an environment where self-expression is key. Creativity is key. The child can you know, um, demonstrate or show forth his or her talent, skill. Is not caged. They are free to express themselves. The innate gift in them, talent, ideas. Sometimes you can be in the class, even teaching a topic, and a child tells you, "Oh, okay, I know something about this," and the child says something that even you have not even factored into your learning or lesson. I've experienced once or twice, things like that. So that only happens when we have created an environment that is very supportive for the children, and they can express themselves so freely that they feel so free to tell you everything. Some children might even be going through challenges at home. Maybe they know there's challenge at home and it's affecting their emotion in class. They're not even just happy. But because they're free to come to you as a teacher, they can just tell you one challenge or the other, and then you can come in as a parent or a teacher. So I think those are some points I hope yeah.
Fantastic. Yep. I mean, it kind of echoes what Deborah was saying as well about building this rapport and the communication happening between
Yeah.
teachers and parents and students. And so, what about for parents? What are some simple everyday practices that can help children maximize their potential?
Okay, so parents can read together with their children, to help. I am that will also help learners. I don't want to say children because even older learners too can, they can benefit from all we are saying. So parents can have reading time, reading session with the learner children, for parents' children now. Okay, so it's to help expand their vocabulary, comprehension skill, and the children also sees learning as important because if the parents are showing interest in terms of the academic areas, so this they take their learning as vital and not you know, in a something that is not important to them. If you notice, as a teacher in class, I observe children of parents who really have time to work with their children, maybe read with them, do assignments with them, things like that. Those children get to put in their best into their work. They see their academic work as very important. They don't take it, in a negligent manner, homework not done, things like that. So I think parents can also limit screen time. Okay, instead channel this time children use on screen to do other educational activity. It could be you can have coloring sheets, you can have an art corner at home where they have colors, poster colors, they can be creative. It depends on the strength and interest of the child. It can even be having cooking sessions. Like some children, I remember one of my nephew during the holiday, he said he loves to make pancakes. He makes pancakes with his mom. So if you have things like this, it will instead you channel some of the time the child will use to just focus on screen to important things. Okay, and I mean other areas that they can develop. Praise every little effort as parents. Children are different. Praise every little effort, area of improvement. They might not come first in class every time, but the child might have improved. Probably last time he was on a 70%, maybe a B, and this time he's on A. Though he had not gotten to an A plus, but that's an improvement. Don't say, can't you see your mate? Does he have two head? No. Every child is different. Every child is different. Support their interest. If you notice your child loves, for example, music, don't say, no, 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 you must be a doctor, you must be a lawyer. No. Yeah, the child can be a doctor and lawyer. And also, you can also be a musician by this. No. What do you understand what I mean? So encourage their interest. Don't try to impose yours on them. I think all this will help to maximize children's potential.
Fantastic. Yep. And it's interesting because you mentioned there that obviously the impact that parents can have, but obviously parents are busy, sometimes they're working longer hours. So how can schools design programs or extracurricular activities that give children space to shine beyond the classroom?
Okay, so schools can offer diverse extracurricular options, okay? So like STEM, like public speaking, some activities, entrepreneurship programs, So in this, by doing this, the children have an opportunity to explore other areas, other strengths they have. It's not just academics. It could even be sports, like the inter-house sport. I remember when I was working in a particular school, there's a girl, academically, she's not so sound, but nobody beats her when it comes to race. She's always first. So in that area, she shines and wins all the medals. So create talent discovery programs, you understand, get experts to lead sessions, maybe on music, coding, leadership, and things like that. Create room for exploration. Two other programs outside the class, that can support learning. Grandparents can come read to the children at things, have sessions, coloring day, if there's a theme for the term, organize programs for that outside the class. You understand? It can even be class parties at the end of the term, things like this, things outside academics. But encouraging children to be registered for extracurricular activities outside the academics where you can discover other strengths they have. So I think yeah,
Yep, absolutely.
can
Like
help.
you say,
Yeah,
harnessing their potential. And
yeah.
so looking ahead, what new skills do you believe teachers, parents, and school leaders need to equip children with for an uncertain future?
Yeah, I think teachers and parents need to equip their children with lifelong skills. They need to equip them with communication skills, how to interact with people, etiquette, manners, even technical, digital skills, in terms of learning, using digital tools, even using their devices and gadgets, channel towards learning. Most children now have phones, they have tabs, but they should not just use it for just playing games and all that. Yeah, there are games, there are educational games. They should learn how to use to play educational games, learn, even skills outside the academics, even with those gadgets. So I think teachers and schools should they should encourage children to learn 21st century skills, okay? Digital skills, emotional intelligence, critical thinking, what they're learning in school, how can they use to solve problems? For example, I remember in my school when we had a theme inventors day, a lot of our children went out. If I couldn't believe, when I saw what they invented, fan, moving vehicles, and I still know one of them. Every moment he's still inventing things just after that program. So children should be equipped. Entrepreneurship skills should be taught how to handle money, not just reading, writing. Start teaching them how to handle. So when they have money, they just want to buy everything once. Teach them, buy the piggy box, parents, let them learn to save, things like that. So I believe now that all this will help, as parents, if the and school leaders, if children can be equipped with these skills, they will have better 21st century learners.
Fantastic. Excellent. That was so wonderful, Elizabeth. So many things to think about as well in terms of harnessing our students' potential and the role that we as teachers and the role that families can play as well. And thank you because I know you have another commitment that you need to get to. So thank you so much for
Yes.
giving us your time this Sunday.
Thank you. I'm grateful. Thank you so much, Mrs. Apple, for the opportunity to be here. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. So our next panelist is a principal from Abuja. It's Rotimi Jibuko. If you want to turn on your camera. Um, And we're going to be chatting about starting a successful school year. As Rotimi was saying at the beginning, that they're starting to begin classes, but not everybody is back yet. So
Yeah.
kind of, well, good evening, Rotimi. Thank you for joining us.
Good evening, Good evening, Teresa. Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. Thank you.
So kind of echoing what Deborah was talking about at the beginning of her session on, creating a positive tone, what practical steps can teachers take at the beginning of a school year?
Yeah, thank you very much, Teresa. I think the most important thing is, we have about a month holiday in Nigeria usually, and between that time and when we have the resumption as fixed by the government, we have a lot of activities. Admission is going on, preparation for resumption and all that. So I think the best thing for teachers to do is to plan ahead. In one of the sessions we usually have, I think we presented Stephen Covey's Sharpening the Soul, in making sure, among the 7 habits, in making sure that whatever it is teachers need to have, they need to have a me time where they need to spend with their families. They need, of course, to refresh. They need to learn as well, go for training and do, all sorts. That's the critical thing about the me time. A teacher is also a human being. So there must be a time to prioritize with their own time with their families, our own time for, relaxing and enjoying the moment while preparing for resumption. It's not just thinking about the child in the class alone. They also have to think about themselves because their mental well-being is important. If they are not ready, if they are not adequately refreshed, if they don't take care of their health, there's no how they are going to impart any knowledge, to the children. There's no how they are going to facilitate knowledge, so they need to also make sure that they are ready. And in doing that, they must prioritize their health and well-being.
Fantastic. Yep, I completely agree. I think happy teachers make for happy students. That positivity, that well-being gets passed on. And so thinking then about school leaders or school owners, how can they create an environment that supports both teacher effectiveness and also student success from day one?
Yeah, I think the first thing they need to do is to make sure that there's a safe environment, conducive environment for everyone, whether they are adults and whether they are children. Because it's only when you have that of course you have teaching and learning going on very well. You may want to think about the fact that, well, adults do not really need, any safe environment. But the fact remains that if we support them in carrying out their activities, for instance, what we do, for instance, here in Olumau School is that we try as much as possible to ensure that we have a health check for every teacher, regularly. There's an appointed time we say, please go for a health check, and then we do that through the facilities available in the school, just to ensure that in the course of the everyday routine that teachers don't have to check, their health, to check their well-being, there's a medical personnel who can do that for them free of charge, and they be advised on the next steps to do. You find out that in the routine of checking student work, ensuring that children's notes are marked and all that, getting assignments ready for children, some teachers may forget to do that. And by the time they go home, they get home late in the evening, they don't have the time to go to a medical facility to do that. So why we'll do that in the school is to support them, to ensure that at least the time they do not have to go and do this, we are able to provide that avenue for them. And of course, for the children, you ensure that everywhere you have, apart from having teachers who are also safety staff members who are able to ensure the safety of the children in the different sections that we have, they also have the tools available to ensure that everything is done appropriately. We have a facility department where they need to ensure that they go around to ensure that all the classrooms are safe. The fire equipment is safe and then regularly maintained, and then of course all the teachers are also trained so that when you have any eventuality, they'll be able to attend to it. In fact, in some of our sessions, we also invite parents to be part of that training, because they also need to know as well how to respond to children, especially where you have safety concerns with what they need to do. So these are some of the things that we put in place to ensure that the school is safe, is secure, and that the children are happy and their parents are also happy too.
I mean, obviously, the school environment, both the physical environment and the staff, play a huge role in the students' well-being. And what role do you feel that parents play in preparing their children, whether it's emotionally, academically, socially, for a successful year?
Yeah, with parents, they are mostly concerned with, of course, getting the uniforms ready, getting new bags for their children, making sure that, all those things are ready. But we take it in, a step further by inviting them. The first week of our resumption, we have an event called tea parties, where we invite parents to come in, and then they have a session, depending on the year group, where they are told about the activities for the term, the events, the kind of continuous assessment tests that the children will have to have in the course of the term, and then the different breaks we are going to have. Now, these are not just, just for the parents to be aware and plan ahead, but it's also for them to know that they need to participate as well, because we expect that the parents, they are partners, in the education of their children. So we need to, have their buy-in in everything that we do. So tea parties are organized across sections in the school, whether it's early years, whether it's primary, whether it is secondary, in order to ensure that the parents come into the school and then they look at the programs that the children have. They ask questions based on, whatever that requires clarity, from their own perspective. And of course, they are given samples of what, will happen in the course of the term. So at the end of the day, you'll find out that when you invite them to some of those programs, they will participate willingly, because, they have been told about how it's going to be. They have been told about the importance of the program. And of course, very early in the term, we share calendars, the school calendars with them, so that they can also plan ahead. You don't just have the parents, asking for permission to take a child for a visa appointment, or, something unplanned, or an event that, a child, is not really important for that child. So that's why we have tea parties for the parents, who should also be a partner in the educational process.
Fantastic. Yep, such good advice. And I'd say to any parents who have joined us, if you feel that the school isn't sharing this information with you at the start, maybe talk to someone and say, I'd like to be a bigger part of the process. Can you tell me more about what's planned? Fantastic. And to finish off, Rotimi, what's one piece of advice you would give to ensure this school year is not just successful, but also transformative for children?
Okay, for the children, at times we even parents, they try as much as possible to shield, the children, just like what Deborah said at the beginning, to say that, allow the children to be children. Yes, they will make mistakes. Yes, they may fail at times, but encourage them. That is a learning process. So it's not just for you to shield them. It's not just for you to protect them. It's not just for you to say that, no, they are children, they won't do it. Give them the platform, give them the opportunity, challenge them, put them in learning groups so that they can interact with other children, because children actually learn better with their peers. So if you do that, and if it's something that is done consistently, the children will know that, look, it's something I can try. I can strive to do this. I can better this performance. And I can, make sure that I get everything that I need, that I require to be able to do better in this way. So it's for us to continue to challenge the children to do, even to go beyond expectations. Because if they don't do that, they will just remain stagnant and they will think that they have arrived, or they will think that there is nothing challenging for them to do. So we need to give them whatever it is that they need to do, whether it's projects, whether it is assignment, whether it is, collaborative teaching and learning. They need to know that, look, the potential is there. It's just for them to build on it. And by doing so, of course, you will see the expectation at the end of the day that they will all do excellent in whatever it is that they have to do.
Mhm. Fantastic. I mean, so many great takeaways from our two panelists so far, and obviously from Deborah. Thank you so much, Rotimi, for taking the time to join us this evening.
Indeed, thank you.
Fantastic. Don't forget, everyone, the recording will be uploaded to YouTube. So if you're not able to catch all these ideas, do watch the recording when it's up. So next we've got an extra special treat because we've got a parent joining us. We've heard the perspective of some educators, and now it's also a great opportunity to hear from one of the parents who's part of the EduP Hangout. So, Ireti Banju, she is the head of legal and corporate affairs at Superflux International Limited. Ireti, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, Teresa. I'm pleased to be here.
Excellent. Okay, so why do you think the homeschool relationship is critical for learner success?
Oh, thank you so much, Teresa. What's the relationship between home and school? Home is the cradle of a child. You have the parents and other supporters. And from the school, you have the educators. What's their goal? Their goal is to raise a well-rounded child, both academically, socially, emotionally, character-wise, and every aspect of life. So when you have the school and home helping a child to learn, it shortens the learning curve. It helps to reinforce whatever has been taught in school. For example, when my children come back from school, I'm looking at their books. What did you learn today? What was difficult? Which concept was difficult for you to grasp? So I know what they are being taught. I ask them questions. I do revision with them. It helps them. They say repetition is the father of mastery. When children hear it over and over again, early enough, it sticks. If I don't go through whatever they've learned, that's just all. They can easily forget. So it's very important parents and school come together. We're partners. The child feels supported. If a child is supported in school, supported at home, wow, perfect, very good. The child would learn easily. Then another thing I want to touch on, school focuses more on learning. We're not having co-parenting schools that are helping children, but in their character now, which is very good. But most times at home, you focus on the non-learning aspects. So for me, it's my role as a parent to put in structure for learning. What do I mean by structure? Before every term, we have our goals for each session. We have the score my children are aiming for. Then we have emotional goals. We have social goals. We have goals in different areas of their life. And based on the goals we've set, we put action plan, we put timelines, what they're meant to do every day. We cascade the session goals to daily, to weekly goals, to daily goals. So my children understand from beginning of the term, they have to start reading, they have to start learning, not till when it's time for exam or test. We have our family values, and the first of our family values is excellence. So I drum it into their ears. You have to, what does excellence mean to you? What's excellence in your academics? What's excellence in other areas of life? So I need to put a structure at home to help my child learn properly. I need to develop life skills in them, resilience. Funny enough, this holiday, I told my child to do something. I told him, draw a list of the things you like doing and the things you don't like doing. Guess what was on the list of the things he likes doing? Playing, playing games, playing with family. Guess what we had on the list of what he does not like doing? Studying, reading.
Yep.
That was what was on his list. So, very funny. I had to tell him, what are your goals in life? All the things you like doing, how does it help you achieve your life goals? How does it help you achieve your goals? So that's my work as a parent. You wouldn't expect a teacher to do that. So we need to focus on both the academic and the non-academic aspects. And the truth is, sometimes the non-academic aspect affects the academic aspect very well. When you help a child develop in non-academic areas, probably help them be more creative, maybe drawing, art, music, it has a way of coming back to affect how the child learns, even in class. And all this, I think, is my work as a parent, not really the school.
Fantastic. I mean, you're obviously a very engaged parent and you know the importance of this home-school connection. But I think sometimes there's a sense of mistrust or a feeling that teachers have their role and parents have their role. So, what practical strategies can schools adopt to build trust and ongoing communication with families?
You have touched on a very, very, very important point. It's very important for parents and teachers to work together. And how would they work together? If school builds trust, how is trust built? Communication, clear communication. For example, if I'm entering any school, I'm asking, what are your rules? Do you have maybe you have a guide or for parents to understand what to expect from the school? What would my child be learning? I need to know what your curriculum is like so I can follow up at home. If you don't share the curriculum with me, how do I know what my child is learning? How do I know what to follow up on? How do I know the questions to ask my child? So very important, communication, clear communication. Then to gain trust, schools must be very responsive. I am a kind of parent that I give my feedback right on the spot. I don't wait till any PTA, like keynote speaker had said. Any issues I have, I know who to relate with, either the subject teacher or my child's class teacher. And if it's beyond my child's class teacher, and I think it might just be a generic problem, we have access to the head of school. So it brings another question. Are they effective communication channels? Let me give an example. The school where my children are in, we all have a WhatsApp group for parents and we have WhatsApp group for each class. So I know what my child is learning in each class. I can speak to my teacher at the beginning of the term. In fact, they'll give you the phone numbers of all the teachers of your children, so you're able to communicate with them. It's very important for schools to have an open door policy. If I come to meet you and I see you're very responsive, it encourages me to come back to have a discussion with you. But if I see that I keep talking, and you're not listening or you're being defensive, I would have distrust and I might pull back. So it's very important for schools to communicate, Be very open, be responsive, and don't be defensive. It will help parents open up more. Then ask me, when you want to make any decisions, major decisions, ask for my input. It's very important. I know my child, I know children. So when you ask me, I'll give you answers or suggestions that will make parents be more involved. So schools need to open their arms to let us know that whatever, we can come to them whenever we have any issues, and they are ready to listen. Not if, even if not providing solution, let me know. I will be heard when I come to you with maybe my suggestions or when I have issues. Thank you.
Fantastic. I mean, you mentioned some great points there about finding out about the curriculum and giving feedback. I mean, I think some parents feel that their responsibility is just kind of going to the monthly meetings or the end of term meetings. But what are some other small but powerful ways that they can stay involved?
Parents can stay much involved. Number one, engagement. Engage with your children's teacher. For example, I looked at my child's his result last term. I looked at the lowest subjects, the subject he had the lowest scores, and I had to engage with the teacher. Oh, it appears that my son is not doing well in this subject. What can I do to support? What can I do to help? Which books do I need to buy to help him learn better? I've done that engagement already. Immediately after school, we went through, the school sent their past questions. We've gone through all the questions they failed. Why did you fail this? Is it for some they knew it, but because they didn't go back to check the answer again? So I'm trying to understand where their pain points are, and I'm partnering with the class teacher. So we're aiming at the same goal. I know my child's weakness. I wouldn't hide it. So I have to have an open discussion. That's the way you can be involved. Then parents need to volunteer. You have different skill sets. The school is not a perfect, it's that we are all work in progress. They can make mistakes. So wherever you can bring in your wealth of knowledge, parents, please bring in your wealth of knowledge, interact, and I encourage teachers. It's really not easy being a teacher. We know what we enjoy this holiday, trying to keep our children engaged. So why would you go and be shouting or talking to a teacher because you feel the teacher is not doing? A teacher is a human being just like me. So I need to support them. I need to encourage them. Well done, you give to that teacher in class or at the end of the day. It goes a long way. And when they show their vulnerability by making mistakes, let's not be quick to bash them, particularly in front of the children.
Yep.
It would not help them at all.
Fantastic advice there, definitely. And you mentioned before as well about having WhatsApp groups for the different class groups. So what role do you think technology plays in bridging the gap between school and home, and how importantly can it be used more effectively?
Thank you very much. Technology can be an enabler or a distraction or a disruptor, and depending on how it is used. Technology has helped us with different platforms to enhance communication between both the school and the home. I'm trying to be very, very practical here. Apart from the WhatsApp group, the school my children attend, we also have an app, an interactive app. I check the children's result on the app, so I have a record. Assignments are sent to the app for parents to work on, which enhances communication, generic information about the school or generic information you see on the app. Not every school might be able to afford an app, that has general information about the school or subject or specific information about your children or monitoring your children's character. Not every school might have it, but even if you don't have it, WhatsApp is still a simple, basic communication tool. Then learning. Technology can enhance learning. You have learning apps like all the literacy planets of this world, which we also use in my children's school, which helps children to learn. So there are many learning apps the school can subscribe to that would help children, apart from just we can use app for information. Apps too can be utilized too for proper learning. Then I don't know, but I know we have a lot of disruptors in other sectors, but I'm hoping to see holistic apps that would have everything about your child, keeping information where, and that would aid easy communication between both your teacher and your teacher, where you have everything about your child, probably whatever happened in school, where they could record. So you could even keep all this historical information. It could help you monitor your child's growth. It could help you monitor. It could even analyze. You could do some analytics. I know we are not that advanced, but it can even get there. I watched a video in China. No, was it China? Yeah, China. There are these headsets they put on children to help them know whether children are paying attention, or when a child is distracted or not paying attention. There is a beep in front of the child's head. So it tells the teacher that that child is not concentrating, and they can call the child to order. There's so much you can do with technology. So I'm looking forward to seeing people in that tech, those that are tech inclined, come into the educational space and give us apps that can enhance both home parents communication and even learning, enhanced learning. There is no limit with technology.
Fantastic. I mean, absolutely true. And I think we will be definitely advancing with the technology as we're going forwards as well. Who knows what will happen in the next 20 years or so. Well, Ireti, thank you so much for taking the time to join us and for giving us your perspective as a parent. It's wonderful to talk to someone who's so engaged and who wants to really be a part of that homeschool connection. So thank you.
Thank you.
Fantastic. And so we're up to our final panelist now. So we've got S.A. Maxwell joining us, Silas. He is a Yoruba language teacher and a form tutor at James Hope College in Lagos. So Silas, are you there? Hopefully you'll be able to turn on your camera and join us. Just while Silas is getting ready, we've got a special announcement at the end as well. There was a competition for EduP Hangout participants, so we'll be sharing the video and the winner after we've chatted to Silas. So Silas, thanks for joining us. You're on mute at the moment.
Good evening, everyone. Nice to be here. Thank you, Teresa. It's been
Thanks for
great.
joining us. So we're going to chat a little bit to round off the evening about discovering and nurturing excellence in learners. So what do you feel are some effective ways to identify the unique strengths and talents of each child, whether that's in the classroom or at home?
Thank you very much. That's a very nice question. And I think from the keynote speaker down to the last panelist, they've said a lot of things. As a parent, as a teacher, educator, you need to be observant. The fourth thing is to be observant. In the past, we had this idea that there are three major ways a child can learn: kinesthetic, visual learners, as well as auditory learners. But in 1986, Professor Howard Gardner of Harvard University propounded a theory which he called multiple intelligences, the theory of multiple intelligences. That now, expounded, it extended and increased ways through which a child can learn. Okay, so as a teacher, as a parent, you are not only to look out for three major aspects. Maybe a child is good in playing with hands, likes to be hands-on, use his hands to do things, or like to be a good listener, or he likes to just watch. Now, our Gardner said every individual, every child has about 8 different ways they can learn, they can be creative. So it is now for us as educators and parents to be able to look by observing what each child's interest is. And from there, you'll be able to nurture. If you don't do that, we may lose out, in encouraging or, strengthening their potential. So the eighth, want to quickly run over it. We have the kinesthetic, as I said before. We have the language, okay, the linguistics intelligence. We have the sport intelligence. We have the mathematical or the logical, intelligence. We have the musical, intelligence. We have the verbal, which is also, related to the linguistics. So when you look at these eight together, you see that a child possesses everything, but there will be, in different degrees. A child may possess more, probably from the visual, so to say, about 3 or 4 of them are visual, or from the one that's got to do with sport, spatial, intelligence. So it is for us to be very, very observant as parents. This evening, just before this training commenced, someone came to pay us a visit. A family friend came, and this is the first time I'm actually meeting. We've not met physically because I'm not always around. So she came with a little girl. She's just 2 or 3 years old. And immediately they came in, she started moving around the sitting room, arranging things. Take this throw pillow from here, arrange it there, take from here. She was just arranging things. And the mom said, oh, just continue. That's what you always do. Now you can see that this is the first day. This is the first time I'm meeting the girl. But you can see in her that this girl, she has that. It's not only a kinesthetic learner, but you can see that she has this skill of organizing, putting things in orderly manner. Okay? Right from this little age, it is seen. You can see observing. Last year, I had a client that I took the children in private lesson, and from day one, I saw that the boy was interested in numbers. He had mathematical intelligence. His mathematical intelligence was greater than every other, intelligences. So I told the parents, I said, please, does this boy do coding? That I will encourage you to get a coding tutor for him. And he said, oh, okay, they will do that. 1 month went, 2 months went. And I asked again, have you gotten a coding tutor for these boys? Oh, so sorry, Mr. Marks. We're going to get one. Can you get us one? And I can tell you, last week, that parent called me and said, do you know this boy beat all the competitions? It's in year 3, so to say. All the competitions the boy entered for, he came out on top, even the ones above his age. And the parents were like, wow, they didn't notice that he had that skill. But fortunately, the coding tutor had to relocate. So I was told to, help in getting another coding, tutor. So parents may be busy to notice this, we're in a very fast-paced world, most especially those people living in places like Lagos State, where life is always rushed, everything is fast and all that, and parents may not really have the time. Before the children will wake up, the parents are gone. Before they come back, the children are asleep. So the parents may not be able to notice these potentials, as early as they ought to. So it is for the educators to be able to look at that. You have a child, you have a student in your class. It is our responsibilities to, to spot these potentials. And beyond just observing, we need to continue to learn. Okay, we need to continue to to do trainings to update our knowledge. I talked about our gardener now. I never knew anything about that until I had to read. And there was a school I taught before. It was very, very important that you must know about that theory. It was very important that you must know about that theory. There is this movie I would like every one of us here to please watch if you've not seen the movie before. It is called Like Stars on Earth. I can't talk without mentioning that movie. Like Stars on Earth is an Indian movie about a little boy that was all hope was lost. The teacher, the school, even the parents gave up on him until an art teacher until an art teacher spotted that his artistic intelligence was more than every other intelligence that he has. He was autistic, yeah. The boy was autistic. But with the art teacher, he was able to become, the best student in the school. The teacher could teach him using art, could teach him every subject by the virtue of just, spotting that little aspect of him. The boy was in love with art. And with that, it became, what it was meant to be. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. I mean, it's interesting talking there about art because I'd like to think a little bit about the other skills that our students need, like creativity, leadership, social skills. How can teachers and parents work together to nurture those skills?
Thank you very much, Teresa. I think Mrs. Banjo did a lot of, a lot of work in that aspect. She has already told us how schools, can work, with the parents. Number one, the parents must be open. They must have that trust. Okay, they must be opened. I think it is only in educations. It is only in the education industry that you see the teachers or the customers, the clients, trying to dictate what should be to the professionals that are educators. You don't go to the hospital and tell the doctors how to treat a patient. But in the educational sector, you see a parent will come and be telling you, my son is this, my daughter is this, you need to do this, you need to do that. They interfere most times with the process. And even when the teachers are talking at times, they don't listen. So it is very good not to be defensive. Okay, excuse me, please. I need to open the door for my family. Excuse me, please.
No problem.
Sorry. You're welcome. Okay, so that open relationship, the trust is number one thing. There must be the trust, from the parents to know that these teachers, this school, they know what they are doing. I need to trust them to do what they are meant to do as teachers, as educators. Okay. Then once your mind is opened, you have that open mind, that trust is there. Whatever they tell you, it will be easy for you to work together with them. It's not only during PTA meetings, not only when there is a problem that parents are meant to, go out there and see their teachers. No, in the school I work, right from day one, all the teachers, all the heads, all the form tutors, the year leaders, everyone, including the admin officers, their numbers, names, email addresses, and all that sent out to the parents. So, but you see, Mrs. Banjo talked about apps, okay, WhatsApp groups, and all the other, avenues why parents can, communicate, collaborate with the school. However, you realize that most times parents don't take advantage of these avenues. They don't. It is only when there is a problem, when there's an issue, that they just come up and march straight to the school, shout, scream, and try to cause confusion. But it shouldn't be. There should be that relationship. It should be a dual process. Okay, there should be collaboration, because we are building destinies, not working with machines, not working with inanimate objects. These are lives. Yeah. So it should be a collaborative effort. So what I believe, number one, most important, that trust must be there. If the trust is there, the parent is opened, involved. So whatever this school teachers are saying, like I said, I did with a family last year, because that trust was there. I didn't go there to teach math, didn't go there to teach coding, but just because this is a teacher, I think he knows what he's saying. They listened, and today the boy is better for it. So it happens when you have a child in your class. Oh, I made an example of a little girl that came to the house this evening, which I've also seen in my class. There was a girl, she was having issues in school, always standing up, please sit, always moving around, moving around. What are you looking for? So I decided to, okay, give her a post that your position, okay, in this class, you are the organizing prefect. You are the project manager of this class. So anytime she comes in, standing up, moving around, she will tell you, okay, anything you think is not well organized in this class, please, you have the permission. She was very excellent, intelligent student, but she couldn't sit and listen. She likes moving around. So your position, I'm giving you that you are a prefect, you are the project manager of the class. So she will stand up, okay, move around. Oh, this seat is not okay. Oh, this book shouldn't be here. This bag shouldn't be here. And today she's better off. She has stopped getting into troubles, you know, with the school authority and all that. And the parents supported it. At home, they've even, enlisted her in a club where she could learn better at this project management skill. Thank you.
Fantastic. I mean, I think it's interesting there that you identified that the situation wasn't working for her. So, what are some warning signs that a child's potential is being overlooked, and how can we correct this?
Okay, thank you very much, Teresa. Number one, most times there is this withdrawal behavior. You see that a child has been very active, outspoken, participatory in class, becomes withdrawing. She or he starts withdrawing, keeping quiet, or not just interested in what you're doing. Because at times some parents or some teachers, this child is too talkative. The child is you're always talking. So when you are teaching, you want to shut that child down so that maybe she won't interfere or waste your time, draw you back. It's like the child is always, the student is always talking. So by the time you do that on several occasions, you realize that teacher, that student keeps quiet. It's not that the child is keeping quiet. Gradually, you see that the child is withdrawing. And before you know, that child will not show interest. And if care is not taken, it will affect the child's performance. His or her performance will begin to drop. Another thing, a child may not want to withdraw, to keep quiet. A child may become rebellious, may start disturbing, start talking instead of you are not allowing me to talk, then start touching, maybe pinching classmates, taking ruler, things that are not easy, just to distract your attention because he or she is really calling out. I need to be recognized. I need to be listened to. So I used to be like that as a child back in the days. And my parents would say, anytime there is any issue, who did that? Who is there? Who is Silas? Silas is the one. Who is it? So even at times when I wasn't even there, maybe I was sleeping, and there was an issue, maybe who is screaming? They will say, it's Silas. Because I was always everywhere, wanted to be part of what was happening, very, very active. So, but when the name, continue calling, I became withdrawn for several years, even in my adulthood. Thank God to my last school, where I worked before where I am now. We had several, it was a training field school. I was able to, to get restored. Imagine for how many years, all my university days, I was withdrawn. But when I got to that, the last school I worked, through several trainings and everything, they were able to spot some of these, potentials, abilities in me, and they encouraged that you have to speak up. you have to do. And today I'm better off. I can't, I wouldn't have imagined 10 years ago, 15 years ago, that I will be anybody facilitating, talking about anything. And I don't like that. I can write it down, can sit down and be talking, behind others, not to come into the open and speak up. Okay, but that's how that's what we need to really look out for. The red flag, maybe the student, the child becomes disturbance, okay, distractive, or withdrawn from the class, from the home. Then we need to know that it's like we are losing out on this particular child. Thank you very much.
I think that's so important as well, Silas. And I think that as educators, we've all got our own different backgrounds, and perhaps sometimes we can see things in students that we think, oh, when I was a child, I was like that. And now we have a lot more knowledge about why those things might be happening. Fantastic. Okay, well, we're almost at the end of our EduP Hangout. We've got one more little bit of excitement to share. As I mentioned before, we've got the EduP Hangout video, the song. So I'm going to share the song itself. We've got a little video with that. 1 second, let me bring it up. And then I'll announce the winner of the competition. Okay.
As parents and educators, we believe in the power of community.
That's why we created HUP. EDUP, where hearts combine, parents and teachers, hand in hand. For every child, a light will shine. Together we'll help them stand. EDUP, a bond so true. Blessings dream that carries through home and school. One voice, one song, guiding children all along. EDUP, we lift them high. Dreams take wing and touch the sky. Love and learning side by side. With every step, we're their guide. EDUP, our promise stays to shape their futures, lights their ways. Together strong, we plant the seed for every child to grow, succeed.
Fantastic. A wonderful song there. And it really does kind of bring everything that Blessing has created together. That idea of community, that idea of the homeschool connection, and doing the best for our students, for their families, and for ourselves as teachers as well. So there was a competition. And the winner of the competition, who was here earlier, but I think unfortunately they've left now, is Chinoso Okegwuna. So Blessing will be in touch about the prize. Huge congratulations to you. And thank you to everyone who participated. So huge thanks to everyone who's been a speaker this evening. So to Deborah, our keynote speaker, then Elizabeth, Rotimi, Ireti, and Silas. Thank you so much for sharing your valuable insights and the different perspectives that you brought along as well. And of course, a huge congratulations to Blessing Epham, again, for creating this community and for organizing this third EduP conference. So wonderful to spend this Sunday evening with you all. I hope that you all have a wonderful evening and see you again next year.